Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and legislative assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider our matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests we have committed to our charge. Amen. Good morning, honorable members. Welcome to the morning session sitting, and I request the clerk to start us off.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
May I at this point invite Honorable Nicholas Nzioka, Majority Leader, to come forward and present papers before us.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Assembly today, Tuesday, 25th February 2025. Number 1, report on half-year department performance for the financial year 2024-2025 for the following departments: A, Public Service and Performance Management; B, Gender and Social Welfare. Number 2, Machakos County Government report on implementation of National Climate Change Action Plan. B, Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 25, I wish to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, Tuesday, 25th February 2025, the Assembly calendar for the 4th session of the 3rd Assembly. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. For the papers, the one from Public Service and Performance Management, that paper to be committed to the Labor, Public Service and ICT Committee. And the second paper, that is the Gender and Social Welfare, to be committed to the Social Welfare and Sports Committee. The third paper, for Machakos Government report, the report on the implementation of National Climate Change Action Plan. That one to be committed to Environment and Natural Resources Committee. We have, at this point, I will call upon Honorable Francis Kitaka, Chairperson Finance and Revenue Committee, to come forward and present a paper. Honorable Kitaka.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I am Francis Kitaka, representing Dalani Ward and Chair Finance and Revenue Committee. Honorable Speaker, I wish to lay the following paper on the floor of the House today, 25th February 2025, report of the Finance and Revenue Collection Committee on County Receiver of Revenue for the financial year 2023-2024. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
I invite Honorable
February 2025. At this juncture, I wish to invite the... There's a notice. Sorry, Madam Speaker.
It's okay, Honorable Member. At this point, I would like, on the same breath, to invite Honorable Francis Kitaka, Chairperson, Finance and Revenue Committee, to present a notice of motion.
Honorable Speaker, I wish, pursuant to Standing Order 190, Sub-Order 5, I wish to give notice of motion that this Assembly adopts the report of the Finance and Revenue Collection Committee on County Receiver of Revenue for the financial year 2023-2024 as laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 25th February 2025. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
I invite Honorable Nicholas Nzioka, Majority Leader, to come forward and present some statements.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee met today on 25th February 2025 to prioritize business for the House as forwarded by committees and honorable members pursuant to the provision of Standing Order number 151, Sub-Order 6D. The committee balloted business as follows. Tuesday morning, 25th February 2025 at 10 a.m. A. Statement on status of Kinka, Airways, and Zebra Muungano Police Station Road by the Honorable Dominic Maitha. B. Approval of the Assembly calendar for the fourth session of the Third Assembly by the Honorable Nicholas Nzioka. C. Approval of report on County Receiver of Revenue for the financial year 2023-2024 by the Honorable Francis Kitaka. Tuesday afternoon, 25th February 2025 at 2:30 p.m. A. Statement on implementation status of Emergency Locust Response Program, conditional grants by the Honorable Paul Wambua. B. Approval of report on County Receiver of Revenue for the financial year 2023-2024, which is continuation of debate by the Honorable Francis Kitaka. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I wish to invite again Honorable Dominic Maitha, MCA, Mudhwani Ward, to come and present a statement on the status of Kinka, Airways, and Zebra Muungano Police Station Road.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Once again, I want to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues who are present today. And also wish also to say that this statement was supposed to have landed in this House a week ago, but I think that matter was sorted, so I wish to move it. Honorable Speaker, they are aware that Article 185, Sub-Order 3 of the Constitution states that the County Assembly, while respecting the principle of separation of powers, may exercise oversight over the County Executive Committee members and any other County Executive organs. Honorable Speaker, aware that the county government undertook tamaking of Kinka, Airways, and Zebra Muungano Police Station Road in Mudhwani Ward, informed that the works commenced on 23rd of February 2024 and were expected to be completed on 23rd August of 2024. Honorable Speaker, aware that the project is documented as 100% complete and fully paid, cognizant that barely 6 months after the project was completed, the road has already developed many potholes, and this not only raises questions about the quality of works, but also puts motorists and pedestrians at risk. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 421, Sub-Order 2C of the County Assembly Standing Orders, a statement from the Department of Roads, Transport and Public Works on the following. A. Actions the department has taken to hold the contractor accountable and ensure proper repairs are done. B. The expected date of commencement of the repairs on the roads. Madam Speaker, if you allow me just to speak for a minute about this issue. A report was tabled here by the Roads Committee some months ago about the projects that have been completed by the department. And this is one of the roads that was tabled here, and Madam Speaker, I raised the same issues. And the report that was brought to us is that the road was 100% complete and the contractor had been paid fully. It's now almost over 2 months since that report was tabled in this house. And nothing seems to be happening on the ground, and the road has developed serious potholes, serious issues. And Madam Speaker, I want to report to you today that the same issues that I raised here and even raised by the committee have been affirmed by the Auditor General's report. Today, I went to the library of the County Assembly of Machakos, and the County Assembly is in receipt of the Auditor General's report for the financial year 2023-2024, and it outlines clearly the issues that I raised on this. And if you go to that report, section number 3 or 5, it talks clearly about the issues that are affecting that road. And I will not wish to dwell on that, Madam Speaker. So the issues that were raised in that report are the same issues that I raised last time, are the same issues that we raised on the ground, and nothing seems to be happening, Madam Speaker. And a road of that nature, over 70 million shillings has been paid. And Madam Speaker, for a year, for less than a year, less than 6 months, the road has developed serious issues. Then it brings more questions than answers as to the quality of the works that we are done. So, Madam Speaker, I'm seeking this statement to know what action they are taking against the contractor who never listened even to the engineers on the ground on what ought to have been done and has resorted to that mess. The residents of Modern Ward, and in particular Githunguri, Kinka Airways, Zebra Road consumers are very much worried that in the next 1 or 2 months, if it rains, Madam Speaker, the value for money that was spent will not be as realized, and 2, the road will be more worse than the way it was when it was done. So I'm seeking this statement, Madam Speaker, so that we can get value for money and the quality for the works that were paid for by the county government of Machakos. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maitha. I'd like to now commit that statement to the Roads, Transport and Public Works Committee to respond to it on or before 18th March and do thorough work to ensure that you get us the report as to why that road has developed potholes, has been damaged, and it has not even taken more than 6 months after it had been completed. It is said that it has been fully paid for. A lot of money has gone to waste because it is already now impassable, and it is. If rains come, we are talking about something totally different here. So that committee kindly go deep and get us the report. Where is the problem? Thank you very much. Next order.
Order number 8, motion, approval of assembly calendar for the fall session of the 3rd Assembly.
At this point, I'd like to invite Honorable Nicholas Nzioka, Majority Leader, to come forward and take us through the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that, pursuant to Standing Order number 25, Sub-Order 1, this House approves the Assembly calendar for the 4th session of the 3rd Assembly as annexed in the order paper and as laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 25th February 2025. I call upon the Leader of the Minority to second.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Leader of Minority. I now propose the question that, pursuant to Standing Order number 25, Sub-Order 1, this House approves the Assembly calendar for the 4th session of the 3rd Assembly as annexed in the order paper and as laid on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 25th February 2025. Before I call upon members to debate on the motion, I would request the mover, Majority Leader, to come forward and take us through the reports.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The annex appears on the page 22 of what members have on their desk and on their social media platform. And with your guidance, I know that it was sent to members a little bit earlier,
Yes.
and they have gone through it. I just wish that, unless there is a question about the calendar, whoever has a question, but I know they have gone through it, Madam Speaker. Is that in order, Madam Speaker?
That is in order.
Thank you, Madam
If there
Speaker.
is any question, the members. Okay, proceed.
Thank you,
So
Madam
I was
Speaker.
just about to open the debate.
Okay.
You can debate it, or it should come before.
I'm just going to do both.
Okay, proceed.
It's just a few words. Honorable Speaker,
All right.
supporting what the majority leaders brought to this House.
Okay.
This is a report which came from the HBC, the House Business Committee, concerning what is supposed to be the date that the Assembly should be sitting for this session. Honorable Speaker, I would urge, as we approve this report or this calendar, I would urge the chairperson to respective committees and their committee members to be more serious with their work. And the reason why I'm saying so, Honorable Speaker, today we end an HBC meeting.
Correct.
And as you are looking for what is to be balloted for this date, we have come to realize that if we are not careful, the Assembly may lack business to transact. So I'm making a number of requests that the chairs of committees be more serious, their vice chairs and committee members, and also individual members. Honorable Speaker, when we were being oriented at the time we were elected to this Assembly, Honorable Speaker, we were told the sources of business for this House. And from what we learned, Honorable Speaker, we get business from the executive, we get business from the respective committees, and also the Assembly can get business from individual member of county assembly, whether elected or nominated. So, Honorable Speaker, as we push the chairpersons to be more serious, I would also encourage members, individual members, to be also more serious with their work, so that we can be able to transact. In fact, it will be very unfair. Every time, altering calendar, and the reason, lack of business. Honorable Speaker, let us be more serious. And in case there is one, either you are a chair, you are a vice chair, and you are not bringing business, we get reports which are supposed to be handled by committees from the executive. Then it comes and lays in your committee. Honorable Speaker, we should not have mercy on anybody. If one is not delivering, let him or her be moved or be given lesser duties. Yes, lighter duties. So that at least the Assembly can be able to transact. Honorable Speaker, the residents, and the appointing authority are waiting to see what this organ or this Assembly is doing for them. And if we are saying let us go for another 1 week because of lack of business, then that means they elected the wrong people. So, Honorable Speaker, kindly, honorable members, if I'm a chair or I'm a leader of any function or any part of this group, and I feel that I'm not giving what is required, I better step aside. We get somebody else who can take this house to the next level. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for your sentiments, especially concerning creation of business of the House. It is becoming really difficult to proceed when when we go for House Business Committee and we are saying there's no business. I believe we came here to do work, and our work is through the business that we bring to the House to discuss issues that are affecting us as a county. So, members, it is our duty, it is upon us to come create business so that we can be able to work and be seen to be doing what brought us here. So, by sitting back and not attending committees, or attending committees and not bringing a report to this House, we are doing ourselves injustices. So members, I urge you with all humility that anybody can go down to, please let's just get down and bring business to this House. We are ready to work. We are full house. You can see we are all of us here, almost full house today. So when we don't have business, and we have nothing to really discuss, then what are we doing to ourselves? Don't you think there's a gap somewhere? So I ask you, as your speaker, kindly let's just get down. Chairmen and chairpersons, let's get down to work. These are issues we have discussed 100 times. I don't think it is anything new here now. We've talked about, you have gone for retreats to discuss the same issues. Nothing is new. It's just you guys, sorry. It's only you members to bring business. I'm sorry about that slip of the tongue. Let's proceed, and I invite members to debate this motion before us. Any debate? Calendar is calendar. Proceed, Honorable Maitha.
Honorable Speaker, I want to be very grateful to the minority leader for what he has just said. And it cannot be said any way better, even than the way you have even explained. But Madam Speaker, I want to say this, honorable members. A leader is not a leader without the led. And honorable minority leader, I want to say this. Committee chairs, however, maybe there might be a few issues here and there, might not be committee chairs without the respective members of the various committees. Honorable Speaker, I don't want to lie. The honorable chairs present here, and even some absent, can attest. We are experiencing serious problems in the committees, whereby we are getting excuses every now and then, members excuse themselves, and there is a lot of pending business in committees, Madam Speaker. And I want to implore to all members who are seated here. Today, my majority leader will not be a majority leader of purpose and content if he is not supported by the majority. Same case applies to the minority leader. Leaders are about people. We don't want to call members to come and attend committee sessions. We don't want to call members and attend site visits to bring reports in this House, Madam Speaker. But we want every individual member to assess him or herself and ask herself, if you are the chairperson of that committee who always receives absenteeism requests, will you be able to transact? So I want to ask you of you members, please, kindly support your fellow chairs. And personally, I've said it here before. I'm one of those chairs who is willing even to step down, because I don't want to lead a committee that is not functional. Maybe we can give someone else to undertake the duties of that committee. It is not about the earning. It is about what kind of business we are able to bring in the floor of this House, Madam Speaker. And actually, it becomes more engaging and more, more good. And we have had sessions where members, we have had serious engagements. And actually, when you are leaving the floor of this House, you feel that, yes, there was really content in the floor of this House. Madam Speaker, I've said here and before, I don't want to remain an MCA for the rest of my life. I want to transit to the National Assembly. And it is out of my experience that I will get in the floor of this House and what I will be able to deliver here that will give me confidence to transit to the National Assembly. Madam Speaker, if all goes well even in 2027, I might not be in this House. I want to go and sit in the upper house. So, Madam Speaker, that can only come when I attend committee sitting seriously, I attend county assembly business seriously, I serve my people continuous, and not even the people of Mudhwani Ward, the people of Machakos County. As a chair of the implementation committee, I discuss reports about all the 40 wards. Any other chair discusses reports about all the 40 wards. So we need to ask ourselves, are the reports and the business that you are transacting in committees bringing content and help to the people who brought us to this assembly? So I want to ask you of you members, kindly. I'm surprised when the speaker says we are almost full house. The definition of full house is not evident from what we have here. I'm sorry, Madam Speaker. We are only less than half of this house. Kindly, honorable members, let us make this house lively. The more we attend sessions, committees, and everything, we are better off. But being the first, second week of when we are starting our session after long recess, we expect vibrancy, honorable members. And this can only when we support one another. And supporting one another means what? Attending committees, at least attending the businesses in terms of retreats, and even attending the sessions in the floor of the house, so that we can bring that warmth of debate, discussions, and move our country to the next level. I want us to go and read the assembly prayer. Keenly, sit down and assess that prayer. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness and appointed the officers of leaders and legislative assemblies for the welfare of the society and the just government of the people. We beseech you, and it continues. If you read that prayer carefully and listen to it, you don't need even anybody to come and tell you to come and do your work. I'm telling you, members, we have 2.5 years to go. One day you will sit down and look for that message that used to communicate to you to come and sit in the floor of the house, but will not have the opportunity. Grab it right now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Mike.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I'm Boniface Mike from Kalama Ward, and I'm happy this morning we are having such a healthy debate. And I'll pick from what the minority has said. But I'm also in utter shock to understand that we don't have enough business, yet we have a lot of work which is pending. But Madam Speaker, it is the high time now we face the reality. And the reality is we are supposed to have 4 committees, them that have 4 committees. But you find there are members who are having 8 committees which they are choosing. So you'll understand this when we are doing this, when we are doing these committees, we don't have enough time because the motivation is signing. So you'll find that I've attended implementation in 30 minutes, and at the same time we are running a concurrent meeting. Probably I'm in education. Madam Speaker, it is high time we agree that one day is not enough for committees, and we push over to the next day, maybe Tuesday. From Tuesday 8 probably to 9, we create another hour so that we may have enough time. Yesterday I witnessed one honorable member. He was, when we were in the sports committee, he was having good interrogation questions to the CEOs, but he had to stop in the midst, and he had to rush to finance committee. Madam Speaker, it is high time we make these committees workable, because you cannot have 12 committees, and having 12 committees, you just need to attend 4. So definitely, you'll just attend for the sake of attending. Secondly, Madam Speaker, when when we got here, you asked for our CVs, and you placed us in different committees depending on our strengths. There are people who are more experienced in some dockets, unless our CVs were just meant just to be looked into and just thrashed. But it is high time. There are committees which are technical, and trust me, Madam Speaker, I know the members will be in a position to help, but it is high time we crack the whip. And then this chairmanship and vice chairmanship should be given on merit. And if a chairman is not performing, okay, I know despite the fact that these are party business and party positions, the party can give us good people and better people. Because I'm shocked to understand, like today, we are having a big problem with the sand harvesting. When I was in Environment Committee, I left the sand harvest regulations pending. Now it is 2.5 years. We are losing roughly 2 billion in sand harvesting. Madam Speaker, it is unfair to say that we don't have business. Secondly, Madam Speaker, it is also unfair that we come today, tomorrow we are not coming. We come today, tomorrow we are not coming. It's like we are on, off. And I believe it is high time we work to the people. Third, and not least, lastly and not least, Madam Speaker, our main work is oversight. It is high time, members, we agree that there is need for oversight. The one source of business is oversight. And if these businesses, we push towards that aspect of MC as an oversight, without being prejudiced to what the executive will say, we are going to generate a lot of business. So that now, I also agree with Mheshimiwa, what he has said, that there is also need for us, if it is these committees, if it is these site visits, we make them a reality, and we visit these site realities, because it is out of these committees, it is out of the site visits, we shall have committees and reports to be debated on the floor of the House. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. On the issue of whether or not one day is adequate for committees, is something we have discussed here, members. At one point we said it is enough, another time we said it is not enough one day. We said we can spread between Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, we came back and said, no, let's maintain Monday alone. So it is upon you to say, if it is not adequate, we still spread. I am ready to work, personally. I'm not going anywhere. So that's my comment on that. Honorable Kaviu, then Honorable Helen Detty. That's all.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to echo the words of the previous speakers who have spoken. Madam Speaker, it's a pity that we have to keep behaving like Kenya Power, on and off every time, just because that the House cannot convene because of lack of business. Madam Speaker, just to pick from where Honorable Michael left, he has made a very good point. And committees are the biggest source of business. And I do agree with him that the 1 hour that committees normally sit, it is not enough, leave alone to generate business. It is not enough even sometimes to review reports. And it's on the basis of having thorough review of those reports, that's where members can come up with business. But Madam Speaker, what has been happening, people just peruse. And most of the time you find that the members of the respective committees, a bigger percentage of them do not understand what those reports contain. The reports, mostly you find the Secretariat has a better knowledge of what is happening. So, unless members have adequate time, unless we come up with a format where members can not only go through reports, but can internalize and understand the content, that's the only time people will have confidence to come and present or even deduce business from those reports. But Madam Speaker, I don't know what can be done, because most of the committees do overlap. And we don't have different members to attend those committees. So probably you'll find, for instance, you'll find Honorable Dominic, maybe probably is supposed to attend implementation. Then either in a difference of 30 or 40 minutes, is supposed to be attending another committee and probably another one. So that is an aspect that we need to look at. Let's ensure that these committees don't clash, because that will give members ample time to concentrate and settle in their respective committees. And the other thing, we can retain Monday as a day for the committees, then we can look for an additional day where each individual committee will be sitting to generate a business from the reports, because every week we go for site visit. Where is the output that we are getting from those committees? Because if we just go for a site visit, we observe, we come and share those reports, then we are not getting value for the taxpayers that is being spent on us. So we need to find a way around it. And as I also finish, Madam Speaker, Honorable Maeke was trying to put something across that we discussed sometimes last year. I think indirectly, he was trying to say that he still doesn't have sufficient committees based on the discussions that we had last time. So we need to take care of every member. Let's ensure everybody has sufficient committees where they can make quality contribution instead of an individual having in excess, but we are not getting value for the same. So, Madam Speaker, as we support the same, lest this be the last time the Honorable Majority Leader is rising, is being forced by circumstance to come and move a motion of an adjournment just because we don't have business. So, we are ready to work, but we must find out where the problem is. And also, I think another challenge that most of us will not want to acknowledge is that we are also having challenge with the executive side of the government, because most of the time you send for inquiries, you ask for reports, because as an assembly we cannot generate our own reports without input from the departments. So we also need to see how that synergy can be put in place so that when you ask for information, you get it on timely. Because, for instance, like what the Honorable Member was seeking, the Committee on Transport did a site visit on the same road sometimes last year. They were supposed to bring a report. I don't know whether it came, but now it's 6 months later, after the defect liability period has lapsed. That is when Mheshimiwa is seeking for answers. That time when the committee went for the site visit, if they had done quality works, if they had done a quality report and presented it to this House on timely basis, maybe some of the issues that is raising would have been arrested by then, and maybe before the contractor collected the retention fee, that will have been used to repair those portals. So thank you, Madam Speaker, and I support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Kaviu has raised several issues, and some of them we had tackled. This issue of less days, not adequate for committee meetings, I don't know, which committee should handle these things? Is it liaison or is it the House business? Issues to do with liaison. So I want to request, before I say it.
Madam Speaker, you know, we usually say that it is good to be genuine. Okay. And if you allow me to use Kamba language, so that it can sink well to every member. Kamba word, sorry. Madam Speaker, mbungeni tuisene. Let us not lie about committee timings. Let us not lie. Let us, even if, why am I saying this? We know the reason as to why we are not able to generate reports in committees. It is not about committees crashing. It is known, it is in the public domain of these members, Madam Speaker. Why can't we first utilize the apportioned timings and generate the business for this House, Madam Speaker? At least I am very sure, out of the 60 members of this House, at least they don't crash, they have 1 hour. They can sit in a committee and generate business, Madam Speaker. We know one another very well. we have tried to think of how we can adjust these timings, but it seems not to work. Madam Speaker, I want to give an example. The Honorable Chair for Education, she recently had very serious burden in business. They sat with your authority on days that are not apportioned for committee sittings. And they generated a report, and it was brought in this assembly, and it was adopted by the assembly. There's nothing like a committee saying that they have not sufficient time. We have more than enough time. We just don't want to work, Madam Speaker. Let us stick to the calendar that we have. First, we see if it's completely crashing, then we can sit back, Madam Speaker, and reorganize it. But for now, 80% or 75 to 80% of our timings can really generate more than enough business for this assembly, Madam Speaker.
Point of information, Madam Speaker. On the same, please.
Proceed.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I think the honorable member is contradicting himself because he has just said, because of the same challenges that we have highlighted, the chair on education had to seek authority from you to sit on a different day so that they can accomplish, because we sat during the 1 hour that is a portion and we were not able. So what does that signal? Is that there might be need for more time, and it might not be affecting him as a person, but personally, I have 3 committees that are a portion. One I'm supposed to chair, the other ones are members. So what is a member supposed to do if 1 or 3 committees that you are supposed to attend have been allocated the same time? You cannot divide yourself. So I don't know what he means when he says the counter word that he was saying. I don't know what he's trying to imply. But the fact is that
the reason why we have no business, it has nothing to do with the days. That's what he's saying in short. I'm just quoting you. I'm not saying that is the position. I'm saying that we have other. There are more reasons. It is not days that are not adequate, but other things that.
I'm in agreement with that, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
But also, no matter how much we'll try to want and evade that nini, that is one of the reasons. Because if you have 3 committees that have been allocated the same time, and I don't know the person who normally plans them, they should ensure that the committees do not crash. And if that happens, then it means that particular member will just come to committee 1, sit for around 20 minutes, then move to the second committee and the third committee within that particular 1 hour. So it might not be the main problem, but it is a reason that needs to be looked at.
Reasons.
And
that's why I really wanted to suggest that the liaison committee, with all the chairpersons present, they go sit down, tell us whether the time we have allocated 1 day is adequate or we need more, and they bring us that information.
That is in order.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yes.
Okay, members?
But it's a problem.
Can we take that matter of days being less to the liaison committee?
Some more information on the same.
Proceed.
And
So,
Madam Chair is just to support.
A minute. Let me give Honorable Ndeti, who I had mentioned earlier, then you can. I will give you an opportunity. It was an information. Okay, proceed. Honorable Ndeti.
Thank you, Chair. On the same information, I wanted to say that apart from the liaison committee sitting to address the issues of the timings, they should sit and bring us a report here, because they constitute of the chairs why the chairs are not performing. Each chair should present their challenges there and why they are not performing. Thank you.
So it is a continuation of what we have just said. Okay. Chairs, present your issues to the liaison committee, be sorted, get sorted. And before I call upon the other members, I just want at this point to actually send that matter to that committee. And I need to get a report. Today there is a meeting for liaison. Can I have the report today? Thank you.
Madam
Alright.
Speaker, just on the same note, I'm requesting. Honorable Speaker, these chairs come from different assembly parties.
Sure.
And Honorable Speaker, the majority leader only sits in that liaison because he's the chair of select committee. So the majority side, the leader is in that sitting. It is very unfair, Honorable Speaker, if the minority leader who leads a certain team from the minority side does not also sit in that committee. Honorable Speaker, I'm requesting that you invoke Article 1 of the standing order to direct that the minority leader be a member of liaison committee so that he can be able to see what his members are doing. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minority Leader, this is a matter we have discussed with you, the two of us, many times, even before other committee, and we sorted it out. We did sort it out. It is taking long. Maybe we need to expedite.
Madam Speaker.
The route that we had agreed, let me finish. We can't all talk at the same time, Honorable Mwanga. Let me finish. It is taking long, and it shouldn't take long. So who is doing that?
Honorable Speaker, I'm requesting.
Yes.
As we pursue that route we are pursuing, invoke standing order number 1 because it gives you powers to do that. And I'm very sure information or directive from the Speaker becomes a law.
And you know, even that other directive, it is the same Speaker who had given.
It is taking long.
So it shouldn't take long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Point of information.
And
Speaker,
take
Madam Speaker,
shortest time possible.
surely we cannot change our standing orders or bend them, so as to accommodate the leader of minority. If the leader of minority wants to be sitting in the liaison committee, he has ways of doing that. He can be a member of a certain committee. That's the only way he can sit in the liaison committee. And I have no veto on this. But we have to stick to our standing orders. Thank you.
Honorable Mwanga, it is something I've handled before, and I know I have taken the right direction. I'm procedural. So, my honorable minority, you know what we said. So let's just follow that direction. It's better direction. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Mwanga. Honorable Ndeti, did you speak? I allow you to speak now. Proceed. I'm sorry.
BF of activity. I just want to talk from experience from the last Mbunge, where I was with Mheshimiwa Rosina, Mheshimiwa Joanna, who was Mheshimiwa Ndawa, and Mheshimiwa Mbula. I know we only used to meet on Mondays, and 1 hour was enough. And most of the committees were able to bring a lot of business in this Bunge. We even used to fight as to which business will be slotted for the following day. So, honorable members, I think something is not right with us. Mheshimiwa Maeke said that we all were asked for our CVs. The committee that sits down to allocate this committee and vice chairs should look at the caliber of people they are putting to be chairs, because if you are a chair of a committee, you don't even show up for that committee, you don't even communicate with your members. Surely, why are you called a chair? Do you deserve to be a chair? Yeah, members, let us be serious. If you are a chair, you are a vice chair, make sure that you are there on time. Don't absent yourself and work. The other thing is, I would please plead with the committee that gives these people members or appoints members for committees. Please ensure that every member has got 4 committees. The reason why we have got problems is because people have got 8 committees, so you decide which one to go. And when you decide, then other committees will be suffering. So let us just members agree that 4 committees, because you can't be paid for 5 committees. 4 committees are enough. And we move on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Anastasia, Honorable Mutie, Honorable Dawn, Honorable Mwanga, you have spoken. It was an information, then Honorable Mwanga, in that order. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for catching my eye. My name is Anastasia Mutevu. I'm nominated to this House by the Wiper Democratic Movement, and I stand to protect the Liaison Committee. I happen to be the Vice Chair of the Liaison Committee. And Madam Speaker, I don't agree with what our Commissioner, Honorable Joanna, just said, that the chairs are not performing. Madam Speaker, it happened that sometimes back, you took the Liaison Committee for a workshop at Naivasha. And Madam Speaker, according to what I'm seeing in this House today, almost the membership here today are chairs, and they are members of the Liaison Committee. All the same, Madam Speaker, allow me to finish. Allow me to finish, Madam Speaker. It also happens that most of these committees, the vice chairs are very active, Madam Speaker. So what we learned from the Liaison Committee, if our chairs can also be taken for that workshop, the vice chairs, I mean, if they can also be taken to that workshop, so that when a chair is absent, the vice chair can also take up. We learned a lot. Most of us have implemented, and for example, my committee on education, I have never lacked quorum since we went to Naivasha. If all the chairs can implement what we did at Naivasha, I don't think whether we can get quorum. So I stand even to talk on my vice chairs. Madam Speaker, if you can get time for the vice chairs also to learn what we learned, I'm sure we can get.
The matter with the vice chair, and we are going on a retreat.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
So they know. Thank you. Honorable Mutie.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to demystify.
And we have one meeting.
Allow me to demystify some facts. That the performance of a chair can only be determined by the members of that committee. The standing orders have placed the responsibility to elect and to censure and to recall on the members. I hear people complaining about chairpersons. I have never had a committee that recalled their chair for lack of performance. It will be putting the cart before the horse when we begin to look for solutions for chairs on this floor. If I am a chair of the Committee of Health and my members feel that I am not fit for the bill, they have all the rights to recall me. Let us not waste a lot of time discussing chairs and their performances. If the chair has failed, the committee has failed. In fact, if my members of Health Committee will say that Vincent is a bad chair, they should have the audacity to recall me as their chair and say, sit back, let us elect a more competent chairperson. Let us not lynch chairpersons in public and present an image that there is a solution to how chairpersons can conduct their committees. It is a matter of democracy. They were elected by those members. If those members cannot make a determination that their chairpersons are performing or not, then that is a bigger problem. Honorable Speaker, I'd like to also say that since the subject of business in the Assembly has been mentioned, and we have said that there are so many clashes in committees, remember that the quorum in a committee is 6 members, 7 members. Honorable Speaker, unless we are not diligent, but I am, I can confirm that in my Committee of Health, only 4 members are conflicted the time we are meeting. So that does not stop my committee from proceeding with work. So people need to know before they just make claims. If a committee has 13 members, definitely all the 13 members cannot be in other committees. I'm sure the clerks who prepared that schedule were diligent to make sure that no committee lacks quorum. You can inquire with the Secretariat. Therefore, let us not lie to ourselves that conflict in times of the committees is cause of lack of business. Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, the statutes, the law, has given timelines for certain works to land in this House. And when they land in this House, they land in those committees. We are in the 3rd quarter, Honorable Speaker. We have never received the 1st quarter report from the executive. So where will business come from? Honorable Speaker, realize when we were being taught how to do work, we were told that a motion is not binding. A motion is a persuasive tool. The executive can do it or not. But the reports that we are supposed to receive, quarterly reports, those are statutory documents which must come to the Assembly. We are in Feb.
Let me just cut you short. Today, this morning, we were told the reports are with us from the executive.
Honorable Speaker,
business.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I am trying to show you
have them here.
why now such reports should have been there.
Proceed.
Yes. We are supposed to receive quarterly reports, Honorable Speaker. 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter. And that is part of our work. So, if the committees will meet, what are they going to interrogate? If the committees are supposed to meet, really, what are they supposed to go through? Honorable Speaker, we were doing the interrogations for the ADP on Monday. That business was supposed to be transacted in November. We are forced to work under duress because we are always chasing time. There is no time that any business has come in time. I would dare say that even this morning, we have just received the order paper some minutes to the sitting. Nobody would come to make a contribution of something they do not know. Honorable Speaker, business is wide. We can generate business in different formats. For example, if I knew that the majority leader is bringing the schedule of work, the calendar of work yesterday, then perhaps I would have drawn an amendment to that calendar of work. And that is also business for the Assembly. If I was to know that we will pass the budget next week, and I know the content today, then I would be able to propose an amendment to that bill. But it comes at the last moment when you cannot do nothing. Honorable Speaker, that kills the morale of members. Let us also, as we encourage members to generate business, I will urge the Speaker and the leaders herein to create an environment where business can thrive, to create an environment where independence of thought can be had, to create an environment where no member will be ganged for their ideas, for their reasoning. That way, business will come to this house. I should be given the opportunity to persuade my colleagues that the speaker is not doing the right job without being victimized. I should be given the opportunity to persuade my colleagues that something somewhere is wrong without feeling the fear, having to be subjected to a fear that I will be victimized for saying my mind. That way,
point of information granted.
I'm sorry, but I just want to know whether the honorable member is right to say that we fear bringing business to this house because of victimization. Is that really there? Is it real? We need to understand, because...
Madam Speaker, is that point of information or she is inquiring?
Okay. The member is entitled to his opinion, so I allow him to continue.
Point of information, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, point of information, and it's a serious matter. Point of information, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. We have 4 minutes. And in absence of this calendar being approved by this assembly,
Sure.
today, now, in the next 3-4 minutes, we will have no business to transact.
Sure.
So, Honorable Speaker, I'm just informing you to consider that we did not extend time. And we have only 3 minutes.
We have 1 minute. At this point, I think we stop it there. Honorable Mutie, I hope you don't think I have cut you short, because, sorry? 1, because there is 1. Okay, I allow you just to, at that 1 minute that is remaining, conclude.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Sorry.
I agree and acknowledge the importance of being orderly, but the information by the Honorable Helen Detty, I did not get it. So I beg to ignore it.
I have ruled
Honorable
over
Speaker,
it.
finally,
I have ruled over it.
Finally, Honorable Speaker, in the scriptures there is a verse that is speaking about the Pharisees. They stand on the door, they don't want to enter, and they don't want to go out. So the Pharisees can clear the way so that the house can work. I thank you.
Thank you. At this point, thank you very much. At this point, I invite the mover to respond.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand here with a lot of joy, because this has been a very good self-assessment of how we have been conducting business. And I wish going forward, we are as genuine when we are before the House to attend committees and also to attend plenaries, because all talk without action, we will be here again and again. So this self-reflection, honorable members, is who we are, and we have given ourselves the best scorecard, that we have not been very loyal to what we are supposed to do. I thank members for considering the calendar and the debate that it has generated thereof, and I know it is going to be approved. I beg for it to be approved. But let me say this. This is the best platform we have been given by those who elected us. And when we don't generate business for this house, in effect, what minority leaders said is that we are ni kujifuta kazi, tunajifuta kazi. Number 2, I hear you members when you say we need to be cognizant of the composition and the capacities of members. Not only the chairs, and also members. And with your permission, Madam Speaker, I know we are going to be having a selection committee meeting very soon. And we will be a little bit honest and a little bit tough in moving some members where their contribution in some of this committee is not being heard or seen. We'll move them to the appropriate committees so that we generate business for this house. When I look at the calendar, we have 110 sittings. We have 23 chairs and 20 vice chairs. That makes position of leadership as 46. And if these chairs or vice chairs each generated a business, we would have 2 businesses would have 92 businesses. That is pretty busy calendar. So I beg chairs and vice chairs to exercise their leadership in making sure their committees generate businesses. I like giving good examples. And every time I mention the chair for health, people think because the honorable chair is my neighbor, that is why I'm saying he's doing a good work. He is very genuine in cracking the whip. And also, what do we call it? Mobilizing his members to come to the committees. And that also goes to Mheshimiwa Budget, Mheshimiwa Dominic. Also goes to Mheshimiwa Kitaka here. Also goes to Mheshimiwa Anastasia. What are these chairs doing to make sure the committees are, the committees are doing their work? Lastly, I do not know whether you know that the National Assembly removed their chair of public petition because he was not attending committees. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I beg this House to approve the calendar. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Honorable Majority. I now put the question that pursuant to Standing Order 25, Suborder 1, this House approves the Assembly calendar for the 4th session of the 3rd Assembly as annexed in the order paper and as laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 25th February 2025. As many are of the opinion say ayes. As many are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. At this point, honorable members, I want to invoke the provisions of Order 27, Suborder 2, that talks about interrupting business at this particular time and adjourn and come back in the afternoon to proceed with the matter that is the next motion, because this motion has been allocated morning and afternoon, and I want to read the provision that is giving me those powers. That is Order 27, 2, unless for the convenience of the House, the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker or a member of the Speaker's panel, as the case may be, directs earlier or later interruptions of the business at, talking about 6:30 p.m., on the occasion of in the afternoon sitting and at 12:30 on the occasion of morning sitting. The Speaker or the Deputy Speaker or any member of Speaker's panel shall interrupt the business then under consideration, and if the House is in committee, the Deputy Speaker shall leave the chair and report progress and ask for leave to sit again. So at this point, I want to invoke that provision and say we adjourn and convene in the afternoon. Sorry, is that all? Yeah. The House adjourns to Tuesday, 25th February 2025 at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.